Hi, my munchkins. I hope everyone is doing good. Welcome to week 5. I hope you guys are doing well. So this week I have kind of a short video this week. I have a joke of the week and I have a riddle of the week. Um, the book I'm reading to you this week is The Lorax by Dr. Seuss, which is one of my favorites. The reason I'm reading The Lorax is because this Wednesday is Earth Day. April 22nd is Earth Day. I have some fun activities that I have posted on the Google Classroom. There's one for primary grades and one for upper grades, so make sure you check those out. And I also posted a video about the digital classroom badges. So on some of the assignments that I posted out and activities, I put that you can get digital badges. And so watch the video so you know how that whole thing works. So every time you do a little activity for me, or when you answer a question that I put on Google Classroom, I'll send you a digital badge and you can collect tons of digital badges, which is pretty cool. Okay, what else? Book fair. Book fair starts tomorrow. So every year we usually have our book fair in the Jam Center, and it's so much fun. And I'm so disappointed and sad that we're not going to have it this year. But Scholastic has offered to give us an online book fair. So you can go online, you can buy books, your parents can buy books, and they ship directly to your house, which is pretty cool. They're giving free shipping over $25, so that's pretty cool. And there's lots of fun books that are out for this spring time, which makes me so sad that we can't be together during this time, because I would have loved to have the book fair with you guys. So I'll post the website that you can go on and take a look. You can scroll through the digital flyer to see what kind of books they have. And so that's going for about 2 weeks. So it goes up until May 4th. So you have from tomorrow, Tuesday, the 21st, until May 4th for the book fair. Enjoy this week's video. Take care all. Bye. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the crickle grass grows, and the wind smells a slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the crickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today, where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town, where the crickle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkin, on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkin, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and if you have tossed 15 cents and a nail, and a shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes the most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he slides what you paid him away in his snoove, his secret strange hole in his groovulous groove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you for your ears alone. Slup, down sleps the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he's had smallish bees up his nose. "Now I'll tell you," he says, with his teeth sounding gray, "how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time ago. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swami swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I saw first the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree, one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I had chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. "Mister," he said, with a sawdusty sneeze, "I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm speaking and asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. "What's that thing you've made out of a truffula tuft?" "Look, Lorax," I said, "there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I am doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers, or a bicycle seat." The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool thneed." But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy." "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Shut up if you please." I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put it quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, "Listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to the North Niche, turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch." And in no time at all, in one factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow, so I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as before, and the Lorax, he didn't show up no more. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax, who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade of the barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees in the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go around, and my poor barbaloots are getting little crummies, because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to go find food, and I hope they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I mostly truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back, and I was fixing some pipes. Then that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled, he snarled and sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a crufulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swummy swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing with the smog in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from this smog you smogged up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup, also schloppity-schlop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the hummingbird fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully worried in search for some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into the needs which everyone needs. Everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in time, my uncles and aunts, everyone gone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into their cars. They drove away under the smoke-smugged stars. And now, that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hasted himself and took leave of his place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you who cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better, it's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
Hey, my munchkins. This is kind of how Miss Galindo feels right now. So let's do the joke of the week. How can you tell that an ocean is friendly? It waves. Doo-doo-doo.
Since we are thinking about Earth Day this week, I found this super cool optical illusion. I want you to look closely and see how many faces you see. Then go into your Google Classroom and answer the question. Good luck!